Hi everybody, welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Well, the National Weather Service in Paducah has issued a wind advisory. It's in effect until tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. That means we could see wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour. This could make driving difficult around the area, especially for high-profile vehicles such as trucks, motorhomes, vehicles pulling trailers, and SUVs. Source 16 meteorologist David Bryant will have complete details of what we can expect coming up in just a few minutes. Over 900 Fort Campbell troops are scheduled to return home this week from their year-long deployment from Afghanistan. According to post officials, 3 welcome home ceremonies are scheduled for Thursday to honor soldiers assigned to the 3rd Brigade Combat Team and from the 101st Combat Aviation Regiment. In addition, 2 more flights are scheduled Saturday to welcome home more Rakkasans from their deployments. Meanwhile, Fort Campbell officials say returning flights scheduled for Thursday and Saturday may change. For any last-minute flight changes, check out Fort Campbell's website, campbell.army.mil, then go to the Families category and click on Welcome Home Ceremonies. The Western Kentucky Regional Blood Center needs your help. Due to widespread weather cancellation, there is a national as well as local low blood supply.
Well, when the weather's bad, they can't get out yet, and then our blood drives will shut down, so therefore we don't have the blood that we would have gotten at the blood drives. So we're trying to get people to come in the office on the days that we're here so we can, pick up our blood supply.
The Western Kentucky Regional Blood Center supplies 6 hospitals in Western Kentucky, including Caldwell County Hospital and Crittenden County Hospital. Now, to donate blood, you can schedule an appointment or find out the next blood drive and hours by calling the Hopkinsville Center at 885-0728. A request to extend the time in a stormwater management variance has been denied in the Windmill Farm subdivision in Oak Grove. The Hopkinsville Christian County Community and Development Services Organization denied the request that stated the stormwater detention basin in Section 1 of Windmill Farms could not be drained in 72 hours, which is required in the ordinance. After a long debate with various officials involved in the subdivision's construction, including the owner of Nick Datillo Construction out of Clarksville, the organization denied the request but agreed they would consider other alternatives.
We've made some offers to sit down and look at a more cost-effective manner to implement a compliant stormwater management plan, and that's still an outstanding offer.
The organization did, however, approve a dimensional variance and street acceptance in the Sheffield Downs subdivision in Hopkinsville and a plat revocation for Section 2 of the Deer Trail subdivision. The organization also approved all financial reports from July through December 2010. Well, to continue Hopkinsville's focus on education, training opportunities, and community involvement, Mayor Dan Kemp kicked off a training incentive built around author Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. The mayor explains why this particular book was chosen.
It's really a classic in leadership and improving companies and all types of organizations. And so we are using that as a text to focus Hopkinsville's leadership team on principles about how we can become more effective as an organization. I want Hopkinsville to be the best that it can be in every respect.
The City of Hopkinsville initiative will be focusing on 4 areas: disciplined people, disciplined thought, disciplined action, and building greatness to last. Kentucky State Police are asking for the public's help in locating a jail escapee. Police report Jeffrey Leon Flowers walked away from a work detail with the Fulton City Public Works Department this morning around 7:30. Flowers was in jail in Fulton County for theft charges. Anyone having contact with Flowers should not approach or attempt to apprehend him, but instead contact Kentucky State Police at 1-800-222-5555. A traffic safety checkpoint on US 62 at the Hopkins-Muhlenberg County line last night netted the arrest of 2 Central City men on felony drug charges. According to Kentucky State Police, a trooper observed open alcoholic beverage containers and prescription pills inside a vehicle stopped at the traffic safety checkpoint around 6:30. Police say 33-year-old Scott Cobb possessed marijuana, drug paraphernalia, and several types of pills, including oxycodone, hydrocodone, Suboxone, and Trazodone. And 52-year-old Kenneth Geddes was in possession of oxycodone pills. Cobb was charged with first and second-degree possession of a controlled substance, illegal possession of a legend drug, possession of marijuana and paraphernalia, and prescription-controlled substance not in proper container. Geddes was charged with possession of open alcoholic beverage container in a motor vehicle, possession of a controlled substance, and prescription-controlled substance not in proper container. Both men were booked into the Hopkins County Detention Center. Meanwhile, a traffic stop in Hopkins County landed a Madisonville man behind bars after a short police pursuit near Morton's Gap this morning. Around 10:20, Kentucky State Police pulled over 42-year-old Jeffrey Howard for a traffic violation on White City Road east of Morton's Gap. After receiving consent to search Howard's vehicle and asking him to get out, police say he got back into his vehicle and fled from the scene. Troopers pursued Howard for a short distance on White City Road until he stopped his vehicle. Howard was arrested without further incident and is charged with first-degree wanton endangerment of a police officer, first-degree fleeing, evading police in a motor vehicle, and careless driving. He was booked into the Hopkins County Detention Center. The district attorney's office is now deciding whether or not to upgrade charges against a Fort Campbell soldier who they say hit a vehicle in July driven by an Elkton woman who recently died. According to 25-year-old Joseph Pergram's indictment, on July 7th he was driving his SUV on U.S. Highway 79 when he crossed the center line and struck a vehicle driven by 47-year-old Lori Ann Stokes Teague. Montgomery County Sheriff's deputies found Pergram in some nearby woods over an hour later after he fled the scene of the crash. Pergram, who already has a DUI conviction from 2009, is charged with second-degree DUI, reckless endangerment, vehicular assault, and leaving the scene of an accident. Well, the replacement of 3 ailing bridges on Kentucky 139 in northern Caldwell County are ready for bidding this month. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet spokesman Keith Todd says engineers have been working to expedite the construction process since a failed pier closed the main Donaldson Creek Bridge on Kentucky 139 just south of the Creswell community on August 23rd last year. According to Todd, all 3 bridges were restricted to a 15-ton load limit and already scheduled for replacement later this year. However, once highway engineers determined repairing the damaged bridge was not practical, they expedited the design and engineer work required to replace the structures. District 2 Chief Engineer Kevin McClern says once bids are received, every effort will be made to award a contract and get the winning contractor on site as quickly as possible. According to McClern, a February bid date will mean construction could begin in March or April and likely would take 7 to 8 months to complete. All 3 bridges on Kentucky 139 near mile point 20, just north of Kentucky 70 in Caldwell County. U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell delivered remarks on the Senate floor this morning regarding the need to protect jobs by repealing what he called the unconstitutional health spending bill. He stated that Monday's ruling out of Florida only adds to the urgency of repealing the bill. Now, according to McConnell, the bill will hurt the economy and jobs.
Despite the empty promises we've heard from politicians about this bill being a job creator, we continue to hear just the opposite from businesses themselves. Job creators are telling us that all of the bill's new mandates and fees are stifling businesses and make it even harder for them to start hiring again. The National Federation of Independent Business says that if this bill stays intact, it will stifle the ability of businesses to hire, grow, and invest. Simply put, the NFIB said in a recent letter, Congress must repeal this bill immediately.
McConnell gave an example that Abbott Laboratories said last week it plans to cut nearly 2,000 jobs in response to changes in the healthcare industry, including this bill. McConnell said the importance of a repeal vote becomes more evident every day, and it should be clear where Republicans stand since every one of them voted against it. According to McConnell, Republicans have made one promise and will keep it, that they would work to repeal the bill and replace it with common sense reforms that lower cost, protect job creation, and that people actually want. Nearly 2,000 copies of a New York Times bestseller featuring the war memoirs of a former World War II 101st Airborne Division Major were recently distributed to Fort Campbell's 4th Brigade Combat Team in Afghanistan. According to military officials, Beyond Band of Brothers documents the memories of former 3rd Commanding Officer of Easy Company and was co-written by retired Colonel Cole Kingseed. In addition to the book, soldiers received letters written by Winters, who recently passed away, and by Kingseed. Officials say the original plan was for soldiers to receive the books during the holidays, but wintry weather delayed the shipping process. In case you missed 10 o'clock news last night and this morning's news, a Christian County man was arrested early Monday after police found a meth lab at his Harmony Grove Road home. Christian County Sheriff Libby Level told Source16 News that 28-year-old David Sherrill of Crofton was taken into custody around 4:30 at his home at 6820 Harmony Grove Road. He was charged with manufacturing methamphetamine and possession of anhydrous ammonia after a search warrant was executed and authorities found a meth lab and numerous items used to make the drug. Sherrill was booked into the Christian County Jail. Sheriff Level told Source16 this is the 6th meth lab taken out of operation in January, which shows we are aggressively fighting the methamphetamine problem in the county.